All right. And I believe we should be live on YouTube now. Hello, blah, 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 Kajan?
Not live on YouTube on my end yet.
What? We're not live.
Yeah, not on my end either.
Well, it's
Usually it's
live
only...
on
Oh,
my
there
end.
it
It says
is.
it's super live. Okay. It also, like, it starts being live earlier than what you see, right? So, yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Kajan. Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
And hello, TacticalDbag. Will,
What up?
welcome.
What up?
This is, of course, another episode of Work in Progress Wednesday. The other stream we do on this channel used to be called the North American Creature Conference, but now it's just Work in Progress Wednesdays. But I'm happy to be here. Thank you both for joining me.
My pleasure.
For having us.
Yeah. And I am Mr. Pink, otherwise known as Modern Synthesist. And thank you to all the people out there in Chatland. See Dan Kaplinger. Oh, Youch is here. Youch is here, otherwise known as Dachande. Nicholas Toussignon. Oh, that's new. Welcome, Nicholas. Brett Evans is here. Cool. Hey, Brett. Diana, good to see you. Did I say Dan Kaplinger and Tom Wilson? That being weird. Oh, and Dwarfinage is here too. Awesome. Yeah, thank you all for joining as well. And we're gonna try something a little different. Well, I guess not that. We kind of did it last week. This week we have another one of those like hobby questions to ask and like about. So we're going to talk about that. I also wanted to hear about Will and Kajan's opinions on the most recently previewed Tyrannid, the Von Ryan's Leaper, which came out on Monday. Is that Monday?
Yes.
Yes, I
Yes.
believe so.
And then if I think DarthBob's going to join us. So if DarthBob joins us, then we can hear from DarthBob as well about what DarthBob thought about new Tyrannid. But yeah, how has things been going in both of your hobby lives?
I let Will take this first.
Yeah.
Fine. I've been making slow, as you can kind of see on the table here, I've been kind of slowly finishing up my Prime 2.0 little project, but it's been a little bit slow going because I've been really trying to take the don't do too much work at once mantra to heart, because I feel like I inevitably have, like, my thumbprint like just like all up in that business. So just being good.
That's good. I'm glad to hear you doing that. That's the key way to not destroying all of your progress.
Yeah, and it's like frustrating because like there's like the impatient part of me that just wants to get this thing done and like finished and just like be like, yeah, I'm done. And then the other part is like, no, be good.
Well, I'm glad that Will Be Good is winning out right now, because that it might not feel like it, but in the long run, that'll leave you happier.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like very pleased with how it's coming along. It's just
Good.
just like come on, finish now.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty much my hobby week has been.
Okay, Kajan, how about you?
I haven't been getting to do much hobby as much as I would have liked in the past
sorry to hear
week.
that.
But I mean, at least sculpting wise, I've been busy mostly doing prep for paper game and stuff like that. It's everything that's eating my time.
Sorry, prep for what?
Yeah. Pen and paper game.
Oh, nice.
Role playing game.
Yeah.
I'm a game master for a group of friends.
Oh, great! You're the DM.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's we are playing currently a custom campaign in Pathfinder 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How are you finding Path?
I'm not too much of it, but group loves it, so fine. For me personally, the action economy isn't that great, and I don't like how casts are never seem to get anywhere. But yeah. We also had some complaints in the chat. Dwarven H asks where was the intro? And I'm not sure
we
what
don't
he's
have an intro
referring
for
to.
this one.
I can record
So-
something with a kazoo.
Yeah, if anyone wants to record us an intro, you go right ahead, because I got an intro recorded for the Creature Conference by Redwood Skeleton. I contracted him to do the work, so it wasn't just a freebie or whatever. So yeah, Redwood Skeleton created an amazing intro for the Creature Conference, but now the Work in Progress Wednesday stream is decidedly lacking in cool intros. Oh, and I should also say I hired It's a Box to animate a neat little screamer killer for that intro. So if you're somehow tuning into this stream, and you've not seen the recent Creature Conference streams that we do on every other Friday, check that out, because there's a pretty cool intro on it.
It's pretty neat.
Error said you nailed the pronunciation of his name.
Oh, nice.
Made my pronunciation what?
You nailed it.
Oh,
It
wicked.
was spot on.
Happy to hear it. Yeah, so yeah, I didn't have an idea for what a Work in Progress Wednesday stream intro would be, and I don't know. I need to get the cash together to sponsor or to hire Box again. So if you want to do something on a kazoo, I'm not above that. In fact, Dachande is the one person who Yaucha is the one person who's actually classing up this joint for us, because he generously provided the art for Work in Progress Wednesday. The nice little like title card we have.
Oh, nice.
Oh, thank you.
So if Will, you want to do some kazoo music, I can lay that kazoo music over Shande's cover art, and we could do something with that.
Oh,
Oh,
sweet. We got a DarthBob.
Hey, DarthBob,
white
welcome.
DarthBob appears.
Sorry, I was running a bit late. Had to make dinner.
That's okay. I was late too.
A modern
now-
Okay.
synthesis is never late. He arrives exactly as he intends.
Listen, I was
Late.
thinking about how Kajan was going to give me shit for when I was arriving, and I was thinking of using that Gandalf quotation on him. So thanks for doing it for
I
me. Will.
mean, if I would want to give you shit, I would be saying the intro is late, like the stream.
Yeah. So DarthBob, we haven't seen you in a minute. Why
Yeah.
don't you tell us what part of Rick Priestley's North American Cottage we're coming to everyone from this week?
I am coming to you from Rick Priestley's
You are, or we
disheveled,
are. Are we
needs to be
invited? Or is
organized.
this?
Oh yeah,
Are we-
well, I am. Sorry, I am coming from Rick Priestley's disheveled hobbies basement. Which
Okay, but what
is
about the rest of us?
desperately to be
We're a team
organized.
here. If it's just you, where are the rest of us coming to them from?
You are coming to them from IKEA to get organizational furniture.
Okay. Yeah. So
Priestley's personal IKEA.
Yes.
man, dude is loaded. Got his own
Mhm.
IKEA. Holy toot. Anyway, good to have the crew back together, and let's start off by talking about some tasty Tyranids we saw this week. Kajan, why don't you go
Oh, yeah.
first? What do you think of Von Ryan's Leapers that were previewed this week?
I love them. I really do love them. I have to agree a little bit with Hydra that they seem a little bit busy, especially in the mouth area.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm not a fan of is the one with the. It looks a little bit like a claw on top of the tentacle thing, tentacles.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's just a perspective thing or if how that will turn out in the model, but I'm not quite sure. You have these small limbs coming out of the mouth area
Yeah,
in
they're like
addition
mandibles
to.
or something.
Yeah, but they don't. That's the problem. They don't look like mandibles to me. They look like mini arms. Like they have an upper arm, a lower arm, and a claw bit.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm not a fan of that, but it's not something that isn't easily removed. Just like I'm not a fan of the horn on one of them. They have the head with a horn on it.
Yeah.
I do not like this for a variety of reasons, and most of all, it's a blade catch again. And yeah, okay. I mean, the thing is supposed to go into close combat with people with chainsaw swords and what have you, and then you stick something on it that catches the blade and drives it right into the brain.
Okay,
Okay.
wait, but you started off this comment by saying you love them.
Yeah, I love them. But
Tell me more about what you love, because ever since you've only been talking about what you hate.
I mean, it's always easier to talk about what I don't like when I generally like everything else. For example, I really like their grasping claws.
Yep.
I love that they look like all muscles, but the top side is covered with the chitin.
Yep. Titan? Yeah.
Whatever that's probably pronounced.
I pronounce it chitten because I'm an idiot. Because I actually read it in a Tyranid codex before I ever heard the word out in the wild. So for the
Yeah,
longest time, I called it chitten, and
I
apparently it's
I
pronounced
know it
chitin.
as chitin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's
I
actually
think it's
pronounced.
I think it's old Greek, so
Yeah.
the ch would be a chi sound.
Yeah, I mean in German it's chitin, but
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
never sure about how to probably pronounce that in English.
As I tell Hydra's wife all the time, if you're not sure how to pronounce something in English, just say it in German with an American accent, and you're probably going to get it.
It's chitin.
Well, that might work.
That's what she always gets it. She says it. I'm like, yeah, see, we ripped that word off from German. We know that word.
Yeah, especially since German is a lot of Greek. What I also love about the grasping claws is the tiny claws they have inside the the muscles.
Yep.
These tiny hooks, and they're the right direction, which I really like.
Good.
I mean, usually when I see people customize their lictors, they're usually in the wrong direction because it looks better if they're pointing forward.
Oh no.
But they should be pointing upwards or into the lictor so that when it's grasping down, it's hooking into as hooks into the thing it's grasping. I like the tail. The tail is cool. I also like the way the tail ends in this spike thingy. And I'm also partial to the small claws it has. I'm not a fan of the thumbs, but yeah. And that's pretty much the most of it. I also heard people have a problem with how blocky the chest piece looks like. To me, that just looks like a Ravner chest.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one on my desk, I believe, and it's also very flat. So, yeah, it doesn't bother me. No, that's pretty much all I have to say right now.
Okay. Thanks, Kajan. Will, how you feeling about him?
Pretty much the same. Overall, I like him a lot. I do think, and I think Kajan touched on the idea, and I think I commented a little bit once we were talking about the Termagant when it was originally released. I'm a little bit concerned that the 3D sculpting is suffering from what I think a lot of 3D sculptors do, which is like when you're working in a digital format and you're adding texture, it's a lot easier to see all these flat areas and go like, oh no, this is a boring area, and then add entirely too much detail because you're looking at it in such a macro scope level. And I think it has a little bit of that, but it's not quite as bad as I was fearing. And I do think that, like, I love the idea behind the mouth and like those little mouth claws. I agree with Kajan 100% that like it's like the little sort of mandible like claws are a little too, like, it looks like they just put some hands in the in the mouth. I know somebody on the Tyranid Hive like did their own like personal little 3D sculpt that I posted up on the Discord that I thought did a much better job of kind of capturing that sort of disjointed jaw with tentacles look. And that said, I also suspect that kind of like with the Parasite, I think the studio paint job might be partially to blame for some of the issues because it kind of blend like those tentacles just blended a little bit too much. I thought with the rest of the model, so it's like a little difficult to make out because it, like the Parasite, a bunch of people did their own paint jobs with the like our own Ryan minis painted one up and it looks glorious and just like okay, maybe with a couple of different like painting decision choices made, the palette choices made, might make some of my misgivings feel less so. But
good point.
until we obviously until we see like different paints of it, it's going to be a little bit hard to tell. But overall I think it's pretty cool. And then rules wise, the fact that we have essentially a sort of mini Lictor unit, I think is pretty
that's
cool
the thing
and
though.
neat.
Like, is it a mini Lictor unit as most people thought when it came out? Is it a max macro or bigger Hormigaunt unit? Is it a leaping warrior? Like, it could be a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the Codex writes as their background, since like as everybody pointed out, like the 3rd edition little blurb kind of suggested that they sprung from like the Hormigant genus, but which I imagine they're just going to keep with that just because it fits in with the like kind of quasi narrative background that they already had established. But yeah, no, like game wise, like like I love that. I love the idea. I can see it. I mean, they definitely look cool. I do. I think Hydra and Moloch had the same kind of comment that like they would prefer like rending claw hands on the dudes, and I definitely concur with that sentiment. But that seems kind of like a relatively easy fix. Obviously,
that also feels like if you're thinking of them as like mini Lictors, like when I initially missed the rending claws, I was thinking of them as mini Lictors, but as folks have said, you can also think of them as big Hormagaunts. And as soon as I start thinking of them as big Hormagaunts, I'm less concerned that they don't have rending claws. That makes sense?
I'm actually worried they will be replacing the Hormagaunts.
No, I don't think so. I think Hormagaunts are too enshrined. I also think that the warriors, these are like warrior scale creatures, and the Hormagaunts are like gaunt scale creatures.
Yeah, but the first thing I thought when I saw them was these are the new Hormagaunts, because they remind me there is so much of the 2nd edition Hormagaunt.
Yeah, but they've shown the scale of them. They're too big, the Hormagaunt sized.
They also kind of implied that rules wise they're more of like a small unit kind of thing,
Yeah.
which definitely moves away from the like swarm of claws that like leap at you kind
Yeah.
of aesthetic of the Hormagaunts. That
Hormagaunts?
I do get the feeling that they will keep the Termagants as the like hog standard rank and file like shooty like swarm unit,
Yeah.
and compared to the Hormagaunts, which would be their melee counterparts.
Yep. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks. Anything else you wanted to say, Will?
No, that's pretty much it. Like they're pretty sweet, and I obviously going to spend my monies on them when they come out.
Yeah. DarthBob, what did you think of them?
I love them. I think they're awesome. I have obviously a soft spot for the more creepy, gribbly, sneaky Tyranids like the Gene Stealers and the Lictors. So another subtype to add to that kind of aesthetic for Tyranids is always a plus in my book. Um, I think one part that I think is kind of understated is the kind of strange, non-standard carapace placing on their back of their torso, where it's kind of
that
like they have like
one
one
weird
plate
plate?
that's separated.
Yeah,
I
that
I
pissed me
thought it
off.
was weird at first, but I kind of like it because I kind of think visually it kind of implies there's a degree of like flexibility that these guys have that maybe allude to them being able to, cram themselves into tighter spaces or, you know, maybe bend their bodies at kind of weird inhuman angles.
That's an
Um,
interesting
and I
thought.
and I kind of like that it continues the parasites trend of kind of introducing more non-standard visual design. Like the head on the parasite was like the placement of the plates and the overall shape of the head was very non-standard to what we're used to in Tyranid design. So I
Yeah.
like that they're kind of starting to sprinkle stuff in there that kind of tries to break away from how Tyranid design language for a while got a little homogenized, especially with things like gaunt head syndrome.
Yeah.
Um,
God hand syndrome. Haven't called it a syndrome till now. Look at that. The whole
um,
condition.
but the heads, so I definitely see where people are coming from with the heads. I do think the main problem is the mandibles. I think the mandibles are just too big. Like somebody on Facebook commented that it looks like they have a termagant trying to crawl their way out of the guy's mouth, and I totally agree with that. Like
Nice.
the mandibles are just too large. Like I think if you look at like the lictor, they're a lot smaller, and I think if they had just scaled them back a little bit, it would be better.
Yeah.
But overall, I also think that this is a case kind of like the Sisters of Battle, where I don't think the paint job that they gave them are doing them any favors.
Yeah.
Um, I think High Fleet Leviathan's scheme overall is it's so much pink and cream and purple that like I think when you have a super busy facial structure like that, those colors altogether it just kind of gets lost. So I
Yeah.
I agree with Will that I'm definitely interested in seeing how those heads are going to look with different paint schemes on them.
Nice.
But I also kind of agree with Hydra. Like I love these models, but I wasn't like blown away by them.
Yeah.
I do think, however, that this is not by any stretch bad Tyranid design, like I've been
Mhm.
seeing other people spouting. Um,
People have said that.
yeah, yeah, a
What
lot of
models are they
people on
looking
the
at?
internet really hate the heads on these models, and
Oh,
I'm
God.
I'm just thinking like we've seen bad Tyranid design with some of the more recent releases. I'm looking at you, Toxicrene. Looking at you, Maliceptor. Um, if we can maintain this level of Tyranid design quality throughout this release, I think we're in for some really awesome models.
Agreed.
Here,
Wow, I didn't know
here.
people were hating on the head design. Dang. Like, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's different. Like, I really like that it's different, that it's not, as you
I
said,
do agree
Gaunthead
with that.
syndrome.
I definitely like that it's different. It's a breath of fresh air. You know, it's
Yeah.
not. I'll take any head that isn't just a stylized gaunt head.
Yep.
Hey, you guys heard it here first. Termagant head syndrome.
It's a thing. We got a word for it.
We're sorry, Mr. Hive Tyrant. You suffer from GHS, gaunt head syndrome. No, what will I tell my children?
I'm sorry, it's terminal, sir.
It's
Yeah,
termagantable.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I shared my feedback on them in the video that I made on Monday. Yeah, I think they're cool. And I think that though I still expect that there's gonna be a Lictor released separately, I think that if someone handed me that one that's crouching on the rock and was like, here you go, here's your plastic Lictor, my response would be, thank you, sir. May I have another?
Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to say was riffing off of your video. I totally agree. I think the lore explanation for these is going to be that this is the hive mind asserting the Death Leaper genes as a wider use creature.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
that brings
they look like
a
mini
question
Death
I
Leapers.
had. I kind of had a question that I had, and I think I
Yeah.
kind of brought it up sort of tangentially. Obviously, we're not just going to keep calling it Von Ryan's Leapers, right? Because that's like entirely too many syllables to pronounce. Like, we're just going to call them Leapers, right?
I'm gonna call him
Likely.
Ryan.
Ryan?
Call them Ryan.
Ryan's.
I've been calling them Leapers.
Yeah,
I believe that
me too.
Ryan's minis would like to stipulate that everyone's supposed to call them Ryans.
No, we just need some Chads. Have Ryans and Chads running around the table.
Oh my.
All right, chat.
Kyles.
What do you guys think on the naming convention?
Oh, look at this guy. Look at this professional asking the chat what they think.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Good work. Good work. One of us
While
needs to be
chat
professional.
is replying, Diana asks if there even will be a new codex to go along with it.
This is a good question, Diana. So in past years, they've always had codexes. Codex. Army's coming out, you get a new codex. I think that it took them, like, I think Indominus came out, well, no, I know Indominus came out in July. And I think it wasn't until October, though, that they released those Space Marine and Necron codexes. So that's a good couple of months.
I feel like they will have to release a new codex because they're fundamentally changing the stat lines and stuff.
However,
yeah, but they said
yep,
they would
Kajan,
be
do it.
releasing all
Yep.
the stats with the online. So we don't really need a new codex. That's the
Oh,
problem.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but
doing
I
the
feel
data
like-
card thing.
I feel like it should be sort of like how War Machine used to do. There's gonna, like, even if they release, choose to release the rules, digitally, so that you can just like build your army list online and everything. I do think
I would
there
be
is
shocked.
merit. Yeah, the fact that they're kind of making the indexes available publicly online just still flabbergasts me a little bit.
Are they?
And they said that they would, at least initially.
Oh, good. Okay.
But like, there's still merit in the thing, and also, like, how else are you going to have codex creep? But, like, the fact that they're introducing new stuff, having the lore, artwork, and stuff associated with that,
Right.
providing something that people will buy it. Like, I'm
True. I just thought
definitely
because they're doing the
gonna buy
data
it.
cards that might be different now.
I mean, they have to release them because they don't have to, but Wahapedia is a thing, and I don't think they will be able to shut down that anytime soon.
No. You're right. The Russians would not have it.
Yeah.
It is Russian, right? We think it's Russian?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a Russian
Dart
URL.
RU.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's definitely Russian.
Yeah, very
it's
Russian.
At least in Russia, hosted in Russia. So
True. That's a good
don't
point. It
think-
might not be Russian. It might just be hosted.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that by now Games Workshop has tried everything they can to shut it down.
Yep. I think you're right.
I'm
God
pretty
bless
sure about
maritime
that.
law.
I'll be
What's
right
that?
back.
Oh,
God
yeah,
bless
okay.
maritime law.
Maritime?
Like international sort of
Ah, gotcha.
interactions.
Oh yeah, so what's chat saying? Like, what do they want to call them? Are we going Leapers? Are we going Ryans? Are we going Vaughns? Are we going Von Ryans? Let us know, chat.
Chat hasn't replied about the naming yet, but Dan Keplinger said, I could absolutely get behind Lictus with cool Broodlord rending claws. I like that they made the model for something that had hinted at existing in the past and used the name, but
Yeah.
it's a bit wordy for of a name. We'll probably also call them Leapers or maybe Von Leapers.
I like Von Leapers.
And
Von
Ira said,
Liebenstein. Sorry. Let's pretend I'm German.
And Era said, I completely agree that the jellycrare on the mouth looks far too big. Paramount from Apes, Oddworlds, anyone. I think I even remember that creature,
Oh
but I'm not
man, I
sure.
forgot about Abe's Oddworld.
I mean, no, not really, but I don't quite remember the creature.
Didn't some studio that's like super famous now make that game?
They might have done like a remix. I know there was like one relatively recent kind of
No, but
iteration
I
of the
thought that
game.
it was like one of those studios where it's like, we made Abe's Oddworld. It's like, what? And then they went on to make like, I don't know, something huge. Like Red Dead Redemption or something.
I mean, Abe's Oddworld was huge back in the day, so.
Okay.
At least on the European market. I'm not sure how it was for the American market.
It's pretty
but-
big here, as far as I can recall.
Okay, well, let's see if chat comes up for it with a name for the Leapers, the Von Ryans, the Leapers. But thanks for sharing your thoughts on them, everyone. Yeah, like I'm a lot more jazzed to see future Tyranid previews now that I've seen this one. Because I'm like, okay, we're playing for keeps. Doing something interesting, doing something different, making those excellent grasping claws that are so like similar to what we've seen before and like the classic ones. Yeah, it's just real solid. And as I think Bill, did you say it or was it DarthBob said that things like the Toxicrene may have had us worried about the quality of this release, but this has gone a long way to addressing that worry.
Yep.
Sweet. Should
Also,
we go ahead?
If I've learned anything from the Instagram posts that I've had that like have had the best feedback is that nostalgia is like great for getting likes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Games Workshop's trying to get those cash likes with nostalgia.
Diana asks if you're building her little red dragon.
The little red dragon. Deanna's a genius.
The little
She has
red
done
dragon
very
that
well
could.
just like looking at these pieces and guessing that, because the reality, goddamn. The reality is that this piece was very much inspired by the red dragon and by the idea of, like I did with the red dragon, mounting the tail higher on the creature. So
Did somebody say red dragon?
there he is.
Sorry, I had to use the
Diana
bathroom
asked
real
if I was making a My Little Red Dragon.
quick. Oh,
So yeah,
yeah, I was about to ask what you were making actually.
the legs and the there we go. The legs and the pelvis are like down here, but the tail is going to mount high on the back because I've really been taken with that design. And I'm gonna have a chunky kind of, I don't know how I'm gonna do this exactly, but I'm gonna have like, oh shit, I'm off screen. chunky kind of Ravener tail coming around. So it looks like it's like coming in for some action.
Is this what the Velociraptor foot was for?
Yep. Well observed, Diana. Make this a little less zoomed in. I myself some space. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on tonight. And it's an idea that I got really excited about. So I'm really keen to chase this one down.
Dwarven Age said that we should be calling them Ryans to mess with the non-net fans.
Ryans?
Yeah, the Leapers.
Oh, because the non-nid fans would be like, Ryan. What do you mean Ryan? Who's Ryan?
Hashtag Ryan.
And I'm throwing down a whole unit of Ryans right there in the back line.
Sir, the Ryans are ravaging our lines.
And they're about to deploy the Chads.
Now we just need one called Kyle's Monster. It's just got like the monster logo on it.
All right, whatever the hell that Venom Crawler looking thing is, he's gonna be Kyle from now on.
Kyle.
Nice.
Dan Kyle's Monster. That's his
Van Kyle's Venom Leaper.
Meanwhile,
Friends, if you don't
Games
have
Workshop's IP department's like, we spent so much money on these trademarks.
if you don't have gargoyle torsos just kicking around to use as bits, you're missing out. And they're cheap because everyone wants the wings.
I'm using one of your favorite bits right now, Mr. Pink.
What's that?
The Carnifex horn.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Wait, that bit?
Yeah, the one that looks like the
E-shaped,
Dreamer Killer crotch.
The Y shape?
Yeah.
I love that thing.
I'm actually using it for a pelvis, just like you did on your baby lictor.
Sweet. DarthBob, I actually wanted to say when we were talking about the Ryans, there was something that I expected you might comment or you might reference what it reminds you of, but you didn't.
Oh, the second edition lictor, of course.
No, not that.
Oh no, what?
Something you did more recently, my friend.
Something I did recently.
Talon Horror, baby.
Oh yeah, it is.
I don't know why,
Talon Horror,
but I got some Talon Horror vibes from them.
Yeah, a bit. The only thing is, I've always loved about the Talon Horror is claws, like spindly, fingery claws. That's the only thing that really separates it. But I could totally see getting that vibe from them because yeah, it definitely does. I do hope that one day we do get a proper Talon Horror, but until then, I'll just convert my own, I guess, or start converting my own and then never touch it for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
As the good Lord intended.
Yes, as his tradition.
So, also, it's not. Sorry. Thank you, Tom Wilson, masquerading as Diana, for letting us know that it was not Diana who correctly guessed that it was a little red dragon. It was Tom, but he's using Diana's phone.
I see.
Well played, Tom. Well played.
Well played.
Identity theft.
So Flynnhammer saw these feet and he was convinced that I was making a Shrike. And I'm like, no, buddy. Not everything is a Shrike.
Oh, he sounded very excited about that too.
Yeah, well, he can keep being excited about it because it's not happening.
I'm convinced we're not getting Shrikes. I still don't think it's gonna happen. I think we're gonna
piss
get that
Flynnhammer
one
off?
thing. I think it's gonna be that one character, and I think it's going to be called a Shrike. I don't think we're going.
It's going to be called Ryan's Shrike. No, it's going to be called
Ryan's
Chad's Shrike.
Kyle's Shrike.
Kyle's Shrike.
You know, it kind of looks like it could be a Kyle. I could totally see that being called a Kyle.
I could see him being called Kyle too. Yeah. And so we Christian Kyle. Welcome, Kyle.
Hi,
amazing.
Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
I'm totally not up to date with the Space Marine front of things, but do they still have jump troops?
Sort of.
Not currently.
Like Rav Pack things.
They may in
Does
future, but not currently.
Does anyone still have jump troops?
I mean, Chaos?
Yeah, Swooping Hawks.
Oh yeah.
Well, wait, Marines
Oh,
still have
okay.
jump troops. They just don't have intercessor, whatever jump troops. Like Blood
Yeah.
Angels still have like firstborn jump troops, don't they?
Oh,
Are we talking Space
not even
Marines?
Shrike
Someone lure me into a
does.
Space Marine alley.
No, I wanted to get to a point because I off the top of my head I don't remember we're having many jump troops or if any jump troops. So my question would be, where does the wood shrikes fit in terms of the game when everybody else seems to be phasing out their jump troops?
They could just be flying. Like
I think-
gargoyles.
I
Yep.
think they're trying to bring back jump troops in the game.
Tell me
Mostly.
more.
Yeah, because what's Dante?
Jump.
He's got a jump pack.
Yeah,
He's got a
so-
straight up jump pack.
Okay.
Although I was having this conversation with some people, and as much as I love the updates to all the classic primary or Space Marine heroes, like I do think they're doing a lovely job, kind of reviving them. A lot of it is definitely based off of like some nostalgia factor, because like that Mephiston is straight up that Mark Gibbons piece of work, which
Yeah.
lovely, 100%. Like they got it down to a T, but at the same time, kind of a static model.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Hellbrecht too was a adaptation of a Gibbons sketch. They've been referencing Gibbons a lot, which is why I'm really hoping when they reveal the Screamer Killer, if it is monopose, it's posed like the Mark Gibbons artwork.
Or just like charging forward with its claws like akimbo.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much got to be. That's how you do a Screamer Killer.
Yep.
Which again
Be
is weird,
interesting.
because wasn't that like a year or two ago that they posted up like a Mark Gibbons like photo with his like signature, classic
Hellbrecht.
signature, like photoshopped
Yep.
out,
It was
Yeah,
Hellbrecht.
which was like,
And it was Hellbrecht, and there was a whole backlash, including from Mark himself. He was like posting shade on his Facebook page about it.
I mean, good, because that was like a really shitty thing that they did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
and
what
then
the hell?
didn't they post it back up with the signature in?
They did.
Like, oh, we don't know what happened. It like accidentally like filtered itself out when we posted.
So
We accidentally asked an
allegedly-
intern to get rid of this.
So allegedly they did it because for the same reason that they don't reveal who writes the codexes anymore, because you know, I don't know if you guys remember when Matt Ward was around, but like how much hate mail and death threats and stuff that Matt Ward got.
Do we know
because
that that was true?
his-
Like I heard that there was
allegedly, right?
allegedly
Yeah,
this
it was
stuff
alleged.
going on,
But allegedly that is why they stopped putting the codex authors' names in. It's also why any of the Warhammer Plus shows don't have the artists and teams credited. Clancy Brown is in the Exodite. Clancy Brown,
right.
and he's not credited in the credits of
What?
that show. Yeah.
that is so stupid. That is so stupid.
Yeah, but we all know it's because of Duncan.
Only Games Workshop could get away with this garbage.
Duncan, and now what's her name from
Louise.
what's she
Louise.
was on the Warhammer Plus. Louise, yeah. Louise from the Warhammer Plus painting series.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm kind of worried about that. Like, I'm worried that, like, I mean, not that I really care. There's so many resources that are free online, anyways. But like, I have a feeling Games Workshop might stop doing painting series because their painters keep leaving and then founding their own companies based off the popularity that they gained while they were under employment there.
Yeah, but what they did, didn't you hear about Only Hands? I heard about this late. I didn't get this right when it was all going down. Have you heard about this?
I haven't.
No.
So the theory is that part of the reason that Louise left is that she used to have like she's like a fun person with an interesting personality and stuff. Like she's like quirky humor. Like whenever I saw her, I thought she was a lot of fun. That she was like a good personality for Games Workshop to have out there.
I agree.
So recently they made it so only her hands are shown in those painting videos, like before she left. And
It's
people say
almost
that
like they
that's
wanted
like
to.
in response to Duncan and like going and getting like
Yeah.
his own thing, and then like Peachy kind of did it a bit. So yeah,
Yeah,
the joke is
Darren
only hands.
Lethen.
He didn't leave.
What's his
He's still
no?
around.
No, he didn't leave, but he had a very successful YouTube channel with his
Mhm.
painting tutorials.
Yeah.
He was told by Games Workshop to shut down his YouTube channel if he wanted to keep working for Games Workshop.
Didn't they rescind that? I thought they rescinded that.
No, they didn't.
No, and he deleted his channel in response of it because he wanted to keep working for Games Workshop. And then Duncan went on his own and got super popular. And now this.
Well, Duncan was popular before he went on his own. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, but don't think Games Workshop can ignore the fact that he left and he got even more popular. I still remember when he started. It was like, I'm not sure if this will be working out. I'm only going to try it. His whole YouTube channel, and then he basically blew up even more.
And now he has his own line of paints, which are like really popular. And the funniest part is like a lot of the paints are literally copies of Games Workshop paints and dropper bottles.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually that GW hasn't actually tried to go after him legally. I don't know how they would, but knowing GW, I'm surprised they haven't tried.
Well, what it probably is when they signed all these contracts, they probably didn't have any kind of like non-compete agreements because Games
which was
Workshop
probably
didn't
not
even
smart
consider
on their part.
that
Well,
people would
back in the
compete.
day, there was no real competition. They were
Yeah, so
premier
now they're
eminent.
probably everyone who signs on to Games Workshop gets like some kind of non-compete thing. And from what we've heard of Games Workshop's corporate practices, the non-competes are probably very draconian and maybe not legal. But
Yeah, like 3-year non-competes or something.
yeah. So for anyone
normal
who's not familiar, a
employees.
non-compete is like when you leave an organization, you have to agree to like not join any of their competitors for like a certain amount of time.
Or be a competitor.
And work in the field, I believe.
Yeah, and work in the field, which can be like troublesome because I had a friend whose husband had to sign a non-compete, and like his non-compete was like 6 months. So I think the whole thing is they pay you during that time, like they pay you severance or something. Because like think about
Not
it,
always.
not always, no,
I
right?
can
Especially in the States.
I can speak to this personally because I'm going through it right now, actually.
Oh shit. You want
Yeah,
to, well,
so
whatever you're comfortable to share, but you could
yeah,
be
I mean,
out your job for months because this non-compete keeps you from working in your field.
pretty much. I mean, like mine, I was a commissioning agent, so basically I did like mechanical commissioning at data centers. So, but basically now with my old company, because I'm I'm no longer working with them.
Yeah.
I have a 1-year non-complete, so
1
I cannot
year.
go. Yeah, I cannot go work for another commissioning agency for a year.
How are you going to pay the bills?
Well, I can still get a job in the mechanical field, HVAC, etc. This is a pretty
Just
wide
not
and varied
commissioning?
industry. I just can't do commissioning as of right now.
Interesting. And you signed that when you joined the company?
Yeah, it's pretty standard in this industry.
Yeah.
It's because this is a very, very competitive industry, and you constantly have people trying to poach employees because you got tons of different vendors and contractors on these job sites, and they're all talking to each other, and everybody's griping about, oh, company's overworking me or I'm being underpaid, and then somebody else will be like, oh, you should come work for us. So people, companies tend to work in these non-compete clauses into their contracts to prevent that. And they're varied too, because sometimes it's not like you can't leave, it's you can't recruit. So like
can't
if
take
I
the
went and
clients.
worked for if
You
I
can't pull
went
a
and
Jerry
worked
Maguire.
for
Jerry Maguire did not have to sign a non-compete.
right. Or even like you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna go work for commissioning company B, and then I'm going to start talking to my buddies who I used to work with and be like, "Hey, you guys should come over too." At that
Yeah.
point, you're not good. Pete would kick in, and they could actually sue you for a lot of money if you tried to do that.
Anyway, so all this, thank you for the explanation. All this is to say that I don't think Games Workshop thought about this. They might have thought about it with the studio, like sculptors and stuff like that. But I don't know that they would have necessarily thought about it with their presenters. But I'm guessing
Yeah.
that now, after Duncan and everybody else, they're thinking about it with their presenters. I'll grab a so if you how I learned more about this was by watching a painting phase podcast, which is the podcast that Peachy has joined. And that's where I learned the term face hand only hands, because they were talking about it, that like the painters were not allowed to show their face. So I'll put the link in the chat if I Clickbait Hellstorm. What? Is it not up anymore? Oh, there it is. Share.
GW bringing down the ban hammer.
Okay, here's the painting phase episode. So I don't know that Louise has actually commented on this, but there was they were referencing something where like she held up like her thumb in like a video or something. I don't know. So that might have been part of it. I don't spend as much time on Warhammer Twitter anymore, so I don't get in on all this drama, and I'm actually okay with that because I think there's a lot of drama to be had.
Twitter is a cesspool.
Yeah, my day job works on Twitter a lot, and it actually works very well for the kind of work that I do. But yeah, depending on what you're into, varying returns. But
I cannot find my pin vise anywhere. I am quite annoyed because I need it.
That's when you can't find it. I actually can't find my hot glue gun. And my dear
It's like
darling,
my favorite pin vise too.
My dear darling Nora Queen borrowed my hot glue gun. I was like, hey, you never gave me back my hot glue gun. She's like, I assure you I did. I'm like, uh-oh, that means it's lost in the studio somewhere.
I assure you I did. But did you though? But did you?
I don't know.
If I could, I would be handing both over to you guys. Have both within reach a hot glue gun and pinwise.
Well, the thing is, I have
because you're well
organized, but
Oh,
I need my pin vise. I need my good pin vise because I like my good pin vise because it's my handy dandy pin vise.
I appreciate that. I think every single one of us has like a multitude of pin vices, but like that one pin vise, that's like definitely the better one. So
yeah,
I think I only have one.
More. I have 4 pin vices, but I have one that I use like actively.
I only have 2.
I only have 1. In fact,
I didn't 3 in my drawer.
I didn't even know that my Dremel has chucks in it until today. I had to like change a chuck to get a different bit in.
Nice.
I'll just clean mold lines.
Now that Will is mentioning it, I also have a third pinwise in the drawer behind me. But I never really used that one.
Did the chat get back to us on the Ryans?
The Ryans.
We talked about the Ryans.
But did they give us other names? What they thought?
Tom, yeah, as they said, von Liepers, and maybe Phonies. Little
Phonies. Actually, there was someone on Warp Shadow back in the day named Vonnie. I think she was one of the administrators.
I feel like that sounds like a very kind of Irish thing. It's like, it's a wee Vonnie.
Just a wee Vonnie.
Sorry,
Kajan.
Famous last words.
Tom also clarified that he was willing to let Diana have the win for it, but then Diana took the phone and told everybody that it was Tom.
So really, that means that Diana's magnanimousness and like unselfishness means that she's responsible.
Maybe. Yeah.
And Diana, I believe this is still Tom talking. I heard a theory that it had more to do with Chapter House. They could make a defense saying designs came from design studio when people had individual credits.
Yeah, that's true. But didn't they stop start phasing out credits before Chapter House?
I don't know.
I thought they did. I could be
I don't
wrong.
know.
But I could totally see that being a reason.
Oh, Chapter House. That's a name that I have not heard in quite some time.
Seriously, we talk about it every other week.
I think I remember just like the drama of it, like back in my Dachande days, and just like I think I've just sort of mentally kind of closed off that part of my brain's memories.
I think you're one of the only ones.
Drama?
Everyone else is
What
still
are you
living in it.
talking about? There's no drama on Daka.
No, he's talking about Chapter House.
Well, he was talking about his Daka days and the drama on there. So
I mean,
was
there was definitely both.
Yeah.
Say it's not so.
this is the first time I've finally dug into the what are they called? The weird Helamites, the Helamite models for Tyranids.
Oh, sweet.
Finally digging into my bits for it. I'm gonna be using these little claws because I think they're really cool.
Man, I just realized how like potato quality the YouTube feed of my video is right now.
Yeah, I have camera, but it's kind of crowded, so.
I'm not gonna lie, Will, it is pretty potato.
Mine is not better, but it's the Discord upload limit, I believe.
What's weird is that like the Discord like stream looks perfectly fine, and there's like
Yeah, because you're seeing your own feed.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame
without delay
yeah.
and upload and stuff.
I'm gonna
Yeah, you
blame
gotta pay for
OBS for
Discord
this.
Premium to get that 1080p streaming.
I'm like, do I need to get Nitro? I don't get it.
Yeah, Discord Nitro is the same thing. I have it just because I don't know. I like Discord. I think they're a good company, and I like to support good companies, especially since I use Discord so much. I really appreciated when Discord refused to sell to Microsoft.
Oh, I missed that story.
That was a bit of
Yeah.
a chef's kiss kind of moment.
Yeah. This Microsoft tried to buy Discord, and Discord basically said no. They're just like, yeah, no, we're good.
I didn't know about that. Probably that means my feedback for Skype stung even more.
Yeah.
Because my feedback was basically, no, I wouldn't recommend Skype. I have Discord.
Okay, I have actually. Could I open my stream real quick? I have a question for chat.
Yeah.
But I need a visual cue. Let me.
I didn't know why your camera wasn't on.
There it is. Now it's on. All right. So.
Oh, I gotta fix things. Hold on.
Yeah, you're fine. Just let me know when you're ready.
You can take can take mine off screen if you want, because
no, it's good.
I'm not mixing a new batch of putty.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, DarthBob's stream is like decidedly less potato than mine.
Is it because of your camera, DarthBob? What's the deal?
Oh, I have a decent webcam. It's not great, but it's also that I do have Discord Nitro, which lets you stream for 1080p quality.
Yeah,
okay.
I just saw the
I don't even
Nitro
have that.
settings
Shit.
there.
How much does it cost?
It's $9.99 a month.
Well, that's kind of expensive. I guess this is like my bread and butter, sort of. Well, I don't get paid for this, but this is.
Well,
I do this enough.
Joe's not here to.
Symbiote Joe's always paying you for these.
Symbiote Joe's always buttering my bread.
The single member of the Creature Conference Yacht Club.
Yeah, well, no, there's actually like 3 people who are members of the yacht club, but one of them is, that crew guy, and he just did it as, like, a sympathy thing for my birthday, so I don't know that he's been on the
All right.
stream since. Not that I'm saying
So
that's bad,
here's
I'm just saying that there's very few members.
the question. So I got the Hellamite arms, and I'm holding them up to my creepy Wendigo guy, and they look pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I like it.
So I can't decide if I wanna go with the creepy buggy Hellamite arms or do the parasite arms. I'm thinking parasite arms for the upper arms, and then do the little baby Hellamite arms.
Yeah.
I like option B.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and then I got put the little Hellamite arms in the lower socket.
Oh, man, I forgot of those little arms. Those little arms are awesome.
Yeah, they are. The only thing I don't like about them is they're all attached to the medium arms, and like some of them are like really
Oh,
attached, like on this one.
gotcha.
It's like the whole forearm is like attached to the
That'd be
side, but
easy to cut
the
off.
other ones, yeah. Well,
Okay.
this was like fully like the entire lower arm. You just have to be really precise with your cutting, I think.
Just
But
get a chisel blade, you'll be good.
that's true. But like this
I
one's like really like very small connection point,
Gotcha.
so it's like really
I
easy to take off.
have 2 types of chisel blades.
Small and large?
Well, getting fancy.
Let's see. That one. Let's see. Is this showing up on the camera feed? Yeah, it cuts
Oh,
things
damn.
like butter. It's
OBS
amazing.
just disconnected? Reconnecting? Might have dropped the stream for a second. This is YouTube.
Oh,
YouTube says excellent connection. I don't know what that's
I don't
about.
know. No, YouTube definitely just. No, it's back.
It's still
What
running
the
for
heck?
me.
Where does
Um,
that piece go? I just had it.
so I wanted to comment on like this red dragon dude that pseudo red dragon dude that I'm working. And just something that I've done on my Tyranid warriors is starting from this venom cannon dude. I gave if like my Tyranid warriors. Oh wait, close. Ooh, dang.
What the heck?
So yeah, on any of my shooty Tyranid warriors, like this is the one, the venom cannon dude, with the big old venom cannon. I wanted to give them like dual hoofs. So there's like a four. Why won't this focus? There's like a four hoof, and there's a like the normal Tyranid warrior hoof, and then there's a back hoof to like stabilize them more. So I've done it on this guy. I've done it on this death spitter dude who I'm getting to painting now.
That's
He's got
cool.
a
I like that design element.
four hoof and a back hoof. And then I've got this Devourer guy, which I haven't really figured out what I'm doing with him yet, but he's also got the double hoof because he's a shooty bug. But so that's all for the shooty ones. But then I wanted to do something different for a combat warrior. Like I wanted it to be maybe like look more like agile. Oh, I wanted to show that I even on my my weird death spitter shoulder mounted missile launcher Standigaunt guy that I did for the kill team. Even he's got a cute little double hoof front and back.
Oof.
Yeah. So yeah, for my combat warriors, I wanted to do something to make them look a little different. So part of that is moving their tail up from some super zoomed in. There's moving their tail up from the like at the end of the pelvis area to like starting like mid back and being more of like this weird back tentacle that extends off them. That's the first thing. And then the second thing I wanted to do was give them longer legs that are like more look like they could be more for running. And then of course the kind of like velociraptor inspired feet on.
I love the raptor claw. I might have to steal that.
Yeah,
Raptor
go
claws
with
are
it.
good.
Cuz like a lot of people have that solution for like flying warriors where they make just I'm trying to compare leg sizes, but like this is not very there you go. So like the lower leg is really much longer than the standard warrior leg. And shout out to Highfleet Varanus, who was the one who taught me to use this for a lower leg, which is just like a scything talon arm. I think this one's off one of the Trigon talons, one of the
Oh,
medium-sized
wow.
ones. Yeah.
Feel like the nice thing about the Tyranid kind of physiology in terms of the sort of design diagram kind of aesthetics is that as we found out with where's my dude, this dude with the legs, upper arms can work as lower legs, like pretty damn well.
Yeah. Like you did with the crushing claw arm, right?
Yeah, these guys I was kind of working on earlier and trying not
Yeah.
to put fingerprints on right now.
That's the one thing that I hope remains true. And I feel like there's no way it can't be this way, but I hope that the new kits have a wide variety of cool bits that we can use for not what they're supposed to be used for, but make some cool, creepy new stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
I guess it kind of depends in part on the loadouts that they're going to make available for the individual like units, right? Because I mean, the parasite, there's no spare bits. Like you're making it, right?
True.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
mean, but I'm using like even the parasite though, like I'm using the claws for something completely different.
right.
Yeah,
I
but
just
you
feel
had to
like
not
we
equip the
have this.
parasite with claws, right, to get those?
Right, true. I mean, yeah, I am kind of sacrificing the kit for bits, but I'm just like hoping it doesn't end up being like a lot of the Space Marines where like you have like part of a guy's shoulder pad on one weird shaped piece and then the other half of the shoulder pad is like on another gigantic piece with like part of a leg and part of a torso. Like I hope it remains mostly like arms are a separate piece, legs are separate pieces,
Yep.
torsos are separate pieces, heads are separate pieces. Because that's kind of what we saw with the parasite, and I hope that remains true with the rest of the Neds.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But if I'm looking at the Leapers, for example, I'm not exactly seeing much opportunity of bits there. I
Well,
mean,
we don't know what else is in that kit. Like, who's to say that that's the only weapon loadout, right?
yeah, but what we've been shown so far, I don't think there's much option there. I mean, sure, you can salvage some of the legs of it.
Mhm.
The small claws you already kind of get with the Gene Stealer code. What's the kit called? The hybrids. They have this diminutive claw sighting
Yeah,
talon
wait,
thing.
wait. No, because as someone who had to like raid hybrid kits to get those claws, I've got them on this mini lictor that I'm working on, inspired by Bargaze.
Mhm.
These claws are rare as hen's teeth because in one box of hybrids, which goes for like, I don't know what it is now. It used to be like 50 bucks Canadian. It's now like 60 or something. You get one of these claws and it's only one-sided. So you need two kits to
Okay.
get two of them and they're small. Like I had to cut them up and extend them for this geezer. They're not easy to come by any means. So having one of them in a box that costs 60 or 70 bucks versus having six of them potentially in that Leapers box, I think it's like sorely needed.
Okay. Okay, I see your point.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about like extra bits. I'm talking about like being able to pick up these kits and it's got a host of bits that for people like us who are converting stuff and looking for neat little bits to use for random esoteric conversions. I
Mhm.
hope that there's a wide, like, for instance, I'm just looking at the Termagant and I'm seeing those really distinctly separated lower arms. And I'm thinking, ooh, I can see a lot of uses for those because right
Yeah,
now
I'm
the
really
current
hoping those are
Termagants,
separate.
yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass to separate those lower arms from the current Termagants, but those look pretty separated. They look like they'll be a lot easier, and that's like I've always loved those bits. but they're such a pain in the ass to separate from the kit.
Yeah.
Dwarven
Hold on. Speaking of
Age
pains in the
in-
ass, my camera's about to die. I just got to swap.
Okay. While you do that, Dwarven Age replied. So what I've seen in most modern 3 model kits, is maybe 1 or 2 weapon options, and sometimes different heads, but usually only it's like 2 right hands that could be swapped.
Mm.
And that's the one thing I dislike about our the still current Hive Tyrant and Carnifex is that the Venom Cannon is always on the same side, and you have to basically buy an Harpy box to get the other the left-handed Venom Cannon and Stranglethorn.
Wait,
Or you
what?
do what I did, and then
What are you
you
talking
do
about?
the. Oh, the Venom Cannon arms are always on the right side of the model because
Yeah.
that's the only one. So the only model that like is designed to carry the Venom Cannon on it like its left arm naturally is the Harpy Throne kit. Otherwise,
Yeah, but
you
who needs
kind
a
of need
Venom
to
cannon on the left arm?
Southpaws. Maybe I
Just
don't
for
know.
shits and that's a conversion thing though. That's not really a fault in the kit. That's like if I want my Zoanthrope to have 4 heads, I need to buy 2 kits. It's like, yeah, but you're not.
That would be
Yeah.
quite funny. I want to see you make a 4-headed Zoanthrope now.
No, multi-headed nids do not do it for me. I don't need this one.
Well, now we know what the June Stealer project's
Prompts?
gonna be.
What do we think about this arm loadout? If I can get it to focus.
Ooh,
Tom,
like it.
Wait. Yes, Tom answered earlier about the first option you showed was the creepiest. I assumed you saw that.
With the other arms, the
Yeah, the one
Hellamite arms. Well, let
you
me swap
asked.
out. Let me swap out with the Hellamite arms. See how that looks.
To answer your question, Mr. Pink, when I started working on my Harpy conversion, if you want to call it that, my Queen Bee, I sorely missed the fact that we don't have a mirrored version of the Venom Cannon readily available in the other kits, and
Well, you
I would
do,
have to.
like, because the barrel is not really, the barrel is symmetrical, like left and right. So you just got to find a different arm to mount it to. And like, you're not going to have any left-handed gun arms anyway. You're going to have to convert no matter what you do. But the good thing is that the barrel, it's not like the barrel has like detail on one side, but not on the other. Like the detail is symmetrical.
The
Here's the other arm.
thing connects into the Venom Cannon, the sack it's holding in the other hand.
Yeah, so
it has this tube going over, and this is always on the right side. You don't get it flipped over on the left side.
Yeah, this right here. So when I was doing my most recent Hive Tyrant, I just cut this arm off here, flipped it around like this, and stuck it on a left arm or a right arm or whatever. It's not as detailed on the backside, of course, but I think I actually had it like feeding in from below. Is that? Oh no, I did that on my little Hive Tyrant. Is he here? Is he? Yeah, like it's, you can get around it. I feel like, I don't know.
But what I meant was simply that I would be hoping that there would be left and right versions of the weapons in the new kits, so we don't have
no
to.
No other force has that. Like if you look at Eldar, if you look at Space Marines, pretty much all of them are right-handed for like random
Yeah,
gameplay
left-handed
reasons.
bolt pistols are one of those things that are like really hard to come across. I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 in the entire plastic range.
Yeah, and this should be changing, I think.
Yeah, but it's
We
not like
need more representation of left-handed people.
sure, but it, like
As a
having
left-handed
With
person,
that,
I agree with
I'm-
this, but I don't think it's going to happen.
having
the
like looking at
41st
the evidence of
millennium.
Games Workshop, I don't think it's going to happen.
You know what? Unironically, though, I could totally see in the 41st millennium anybody who's like left-handed, them doing like the old Catholic school thing where like they force left-handed people to learn to write right-handed because they don't want to have to change like munitions and weapons and stuff to accommodate
Yeah.
for left-handed people.
Because the
we
Imperium
have
is a
found
bunch of
the
dirtbags.
pattern to print them.
You will be left-handed, or you will be right-handed, or you will be turned into corpse starch.
Therefore, I think I would mix those arms. I would have one with the claw extended and one with the claw retracted.
It's an interesting thought.
To get a little synergy. I don't know how many versions you plan to do of this creature.
This is just one. He's a solo bolo guy.
Then I definitely would have one pointing like it's about to grab something.
Yeah. Man, I wish I knew where my freaking pin vise was.
Sorry, I'm just using mine with a lack right here, rubbing it in. Lack, is that the word I'm looking for? I don't even know what I'm saying. Lacrity? I don't know.
A lack.
Is that a thing?
Word?
What's the
Alacrity
thing where
Alacrity
someone
is a
word.
word, but I don't think it's the word that you're looking for.
Brisk and cheerful readiness is what alacrity means.
Well, I am using it with
guess it's not.
alacrity.
Okay, there you go.
All right,
Not being sensitive of your lack of pin vice.
You're a alacrity. You alacrity bastard. Alac. I don't know what it means to be filled with alacrity. I am
Will just told
lacking.
you. And Will, I like the low key Princess Bride reference.
Oh, I wasn't even going for
I don't think that word means what you think it means. Think. There's that word again. Think.
Oh.
I don't pay you to think.
Wallace Shawn.
Inconceivable.
There you go.
And Dwarven Age seems to agree with us that we need more flipped stuff. He says right-handed shields, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
It can't be that hard to convert, can it?
I finally found one right-handed shield.
Yeah, even the Lions got the lefty shield. Even though I think canonically he's left-handed.
Oh, dang.
I think.
But the shields. Oh no, you're saying he's a right. Well, that's the thing. I think there's a lot of. I thought there was a lot of models that carried their swords on their left arm and their guns on their right.
I thought those were all the models.
I mean, it does seem I might be talking out of my ass there because I think it makes more sense for all the Primarchs and really Space Marines in general to be ambidextrous.
Well,
Because they should
but
be able to wield a weapon in whatever hand. But
it makes less sense from a model selling perspective to have your models be ambidextrous because you always know what hand a gun's going to go in.
that's true.
You always know what hand a sword's going to go in. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that like that's probably where how the product decision was made.
I just always assumed lore-wise that like if the Primarchs were all sort of kind of genetically cloned from for an original Southpaw, and like they just kind of genetically captured that.
So what you're saying is left-handed people are genetically superior. Yes,
That
yes,
is 100% not.
Wait, is it the case that all the Primarchs have their weapons in their left hand? Well, you mean like
No.
the sword factor?
No, I vaguely remember reading where that the Lion is a Southpaw.
I mean, I think this sounds right to me, so I'm not. Well,
I could
partial
totally
to
be making
agree
that
with
up.
that.
I just
Yeah.
remember it for some reason.
I'm not Barcast. I'm sure Barcast would be having a source.
Argus was here, but I think he went to bed.
Yeah, he went to
Argus
bed.
is our resident like encyclopedia, so
Yeah.
Well, maybe the case is that the Lion is a Southpaw and he's just holding a shield in his left hand because that shield is really gonna smoke somebody. Way
Yeah.
more than that dinky little sword.
And
He's got to find Cypher to get his sword back.
and as for ambidexterity, I think when they do the psychosomatic conditioning, it probably will be ingrained in them back
Yeah.
then.
Okay, the Hellamite bits. I got this kit a while back with the intention of using it, but I haven't really given it a chance to like look it over. There are
Yeah.
some really cool bits in here.
Yeah, I did a whole review on it. Wasn't a fancy one, but
Yeah, but just like actually getting the kit in your hands and getting to
right.
like look at the details, it's pretty like I love these like sets of like 5 little carapace plates. I could definitely
Yep.
see a use for those. Or I guess it's 4, but still, like that's a really cool bit.
Oh wait, are those ash nomad like little bugs?
Yep.
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 Oh yeah, no, they look like mad cool kits, and I do say that I love the fact that Games Workshop tends to post the sprues, pictures of the sprues online for all their
Mhm.
kits.
Yeah.
Like it really kind of lets you go like, oh wait, no, that bit's like kind of like integrated with that thing. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. Or
Yep.
like I remember looking at the Hellamite, like, ooh, wait, that's a separate bit. Ooh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, the Hellamite itself, what I really loved about it is that it's pretty bare. Like there's not a lot of like human stuff on it. I think it's just like the saddle, and then there's some where there's like a what is it? Some of
It's
them
like
where there's like
strapping.
there's like some like wraps,
Mhm.
like bandages on
Yeah,
their
they've
limbs.
like fixed the like this guy has got like staples in his leg.
Yeah, but other than that, they're pretty bare. Like they don't have a lot
Yeah.
of superfluous human junk on them.
Mhm.
So they can be you can use them pretty much like mids or like some random aliens.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. And all the stuff that is human, it's like it's so low key that it'd be very easy to just carve away or
Yeah.
sand off. I've definitely got plans. I've got plans for the abdomens especially. I think I mentioned this in an earlier stream. I kind of want to try and make some retro style warriors with the big uh stinger abdomens with the crotch
Nice.
beaks.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I think I was doodling like some attempts at like a revamped, like modernized version of the Rogue Trader warriors. I didn't get very far along with that idea, but God, I love those dopey, buck-toothed, very chiropractic needed monsters.
Yeah.
Yes, they're great. I
There's,
hate it when people rag on retro nids. Retro nids are great. A
Where
simpler
we all
time.
started.
I think that the thing is like to a certain extent, there's a lot of things objectively just bad about that model, but
Yeah.
it's like the dopiness kind of like works for it.
You shut your mouth, Will. That is a work
Hey,
of art.
so though I do love this conversation, we have a subject that we were supposed to talk about on the stream.
All right.
And it was, what is your one hobby project that you've sunk the most time into?
Oh wow.
This was
Someone
suggested
else
by
go first.
Dachande, I believe, in our Discord, Shadow in the Loop
Yes.
Discord, whatever it is. And yeah, I thought this was a pretty good question. Is there anyone who wants to start it off? There's a
I
clear
mean,
idea of what.
I can start it off.
Yeah, do it.
Probably
Go for it.
probably going to be disappointing for people. Because my longest hobby project is not a sculpting project, but
Yeah.
instead it's a custom codex type of
Oh,
thing for Shadowrun.
yeah.
I've started to make an entire source book for the city of New York in Shadowrun, because for the longest time, for many years, there were no source books for the city of New York in
Yep.
the year 2050, and that has been my pet project for the longest time. By now, they released it,
Yeah.
released their own, but it starts with really like it's a handout which I can give players, which contains a brief history about the Shadowrun universe and everything, and specific to New York. So players don't need to know the background of Shadowrun. They can take this homebrew thing. And I'm at something like page 60 pages with pictures and everything, which I collected over the time, cyberpunk
Nice.
picture, to give a flair of what it is like in New York in 2050, 2070.
That's impressive, dude.
Area. And yeah, it's a lot of time went into this, and it's entirely wasted in many ways.
Hey, don't say it's
I
wasted.
mean, yeah, but I mean, I look at this and I'm looking at it and see how much time I spent into developing it, and
Yeah.
I think the quality is good enough that people are usually blown away when they see it, because I have like Madison Square Garden and Photoshop. I did Photoshop some cars together to so you have an idea what the police cars look like and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Okay, listen, Kajan. Kajan, wait.
yeah.
Before you say that you've wasted this time, are you familiar with how the book series and then TV series The Expanse, which I'm obsessed with, how that started?
No, I'm not familiar.
It started as a game aid. It started as an RPG.
Oh, okay.
Did it
And
really? I didn't know that.
so the author of The Expanse is James S.A. Corey, and James S.A. Corey is like a nom de plume for two guys.
Like
Ty
three
Frank.
guys.
No, it's two guys. Ty Frank and Daniel Abraham. So Daniel Abraham was an established author already. Ty Frank had never written anything before. Ty Frank came up with this setting for a role-playing game, set in like the belt, and he talked about like Earth and like Mars and like all this stuff, which we know from The Expanse. And Daniel Abraham, who was an author, was just like happened to be playing this role-playing game with this role-playing game group that Ty Frank was a part of. And they just sat down one day and Daniel Abraham started quizzing Ty Frank about different elements of his universe. He's like, well, like, how does money work? And like, how does like this work? And how does that work? And like where do all these laborers live? And like, how is the belt populated? And Ty Frank just pulled out this huge binder that he'd created of this world. And Daniel Abraham was like, dude, you wrote a book, you just don't know it yet. Like, this is all a book. You just have to like put it between some covers and find an editor. So yeah, that's how it started, and that's how they started like collaborating.
That's
Yeah.
really
Don't
cool.
poo-poo your source book. That's a lot of really good work.
This is all tied into the Shadowrun background. So
Yeah, for now, but you could
without-
change that.
Yeah, it would be a lot of work to change
Hey,
it.
man.
Are you familiar with how 50 Shades of Grey was written?
That's what I was just about to say. That's what I
So-
was just about to say.
I worked for Wattpad, which was a like a fanfic place. So I got to tell this story because it's like part of our company DNA, kind of. That 50 Shades of Grey, the super successful book, sexy book, everyone was buying, super bestseller. They made movies out of it. That started off as Twilight fan fiction, Twilight, the vampire thing. But the author
Sparkly
took
vampires.
the author took the fan fiction, changed the names, and all of a sudden it was its own book that could sell. And then we had an author do that when I was working at Wattpad. A very smart lady who knew what she was doing, named Anna Todd. She started writing a fan fiction about what the hell? What's Harry Styles' band's One Direction? There we go.
One Direction.
Yeah, she started writing a One Direction fanfic where all the characters in the fanfic were like members of One Direction, and the main character was like in love with the Harry Styles character. And of course, you can't publish that. But then she just like it got super popular, and she just changed the name slightly, and she got like she wrote I think like 3 or 4 books, and she got like a book deal and everything. So there you go, Kajan. Don't poo poo your thing, and
Okay.
don't say that, oh, it's tied to this IP. You can always change that. You can always obfuscate that fact.
Not to mention, anything done with passion and joy is not time wasted.
Yeah, of course, that's also a case. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I'm doing when I'm running a pen and paper, when I'm game mastering a pen and paper group. I usually do handouts like the the game I'm currently game mastering, and
Yep.
which I mentioned earlier. I also did a big timeline and everything, and so people don't need to know the background, but can
Nice.
reference the PDF basically. Yeah, that's my longest hobby project, and my
Cool.
dream project in terms
Oh yeah,
of
sorry, I didn't introduce that one. But the second question that Will contributed when I was asking about possible possible questions for this discussion was, what would be your dream hobby project? So I tried to I tried to lump the two of them in together by saying, like, what is the project that you would love to spend the most time on? Dream project. So please, Kajan, hit us with it.
I definitely would be loving to do more sculpting and painting.
Yeah.
But I usually
Like, what
time simply
project
gets
within
gets
the
away.
sculpting and painting?
I definitely would want to do a really big knit, like an Hierophant. At some point,
Ooh.
something really big, but I know this would be a project that's probably going to take years to complete at the pace I'm sculpting.
Oh, hold on. We missed it in the chat. Ripped Lampshade, which I haven't seen before. Welcome, Ripped Lampshade. Good to see you here. Said you guys mentioned multi-headed nids. I skimmed the World Eaters Codex, and I think it mentions a 6-headed Tyranid. Does anyone know about that?
No, I've
Not
heard
familiar
about
with
that.
that.
I mean, that's news to me, but I'm not surprised because I don't keep up with Space Marine codexes. But
I mean, I'm kind of interested in Chaos Space Marines, but I'm still more siege oriented. So Khorne is kind of the one I'm least interested in.
the anti-Zinch.
Yeah. But a 6-headed turn, that sounds interesting.
Yeah,
It does
certainly.
Real Hydra.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of Hydra. Sorry, I just wanted to catch that. Okay, a Hierophant. That's a good project. That's a good answer. Hey, who'd like to go next? What's your most hobby project? And also, chat, feel free to share yours. What's the project that you've sunk the most time into? Followed by, what's the project that you'd love to sink an unlimited amount of time into? A dream project. Oh, DarthBob?
I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
I guess I sort of have like a tie in terms of like the things I've sunk most into. As you can see here on my plate, I'm finally, because it was kind of one of my hobby resolutions of the year is to finally like finish off a bunch of unfinished projects. There is the Lichter model that I worked on that was the thing I posted up on Reddit that you, Mr. Pink, encouraged me to join Instagram on.
Yes.
I
partially by
never.
partially by Ironbeak. Ironbeak's like, hey, check out my
Yeah.
friend who does cool Tyranids. And I'm like, wow, your friend's really talented. You need to get him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Stat.
And now that's where I am. But I never finished the claw arms, and I've just kind of, I think partly because I was sort of figuring out like how I really wanted to go, and I wasn't like never really entirely happy. And I forget, I think I was Kajan or somebody was mentioning the lack of the kind of the wind being taken out of their sails by, some of the new stuff coming out,
Yeah.
like the Screamer Killer. So
Yeah.
I decided that I'm going to try to fix this. So this guy's been years in the making of like actually finishing up, and pretty much exclusively the grasping claws, which I think I kind of stole your Lictor Prime idea.
Not possible, because
Of
I did those
using.
grasping claws within the last year. So you started this earlier.
Yeah, but this claw design specifically was like definitely like in the last 6 months. But
Oh,
other
okay.
than that, I think the other thing that I've been kind of working on trying to finish up is my big space potato, aka my big Tyrannocyte thing.
Oh yeah, the
I
space
gotta
potato.
I gotta finish this up. I got that Warbler thing that I think Dachande was using a little bit of for his sweet Hive Tyrant,
Oh
McFarlane
yeah,
Hive
the like
Tyrant
that
project.
weird heat set material that it's kind of like plasticard or something.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's almost like the material is almost like if you're doing the like heated vacuum mold of plastic, except it's a little bit more malleable and like less
Yep.
like kind of like gelatiny.
Yep.
But I think that material will like help me push through. Once I'm finished with my Prime 2.0 and this Lictor, I think the next big thing is I'm gonna try to like finish this gigantic potato. Like, look, it's like legitimately like medium potato sized.
Well, it's cool though. You made like those big armor plates that like open around it. That's another one of your early projects that I remember and that I'm keen to see completed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie that the like gigantic claws have been just like the thing that I've been dreading the most in terms
Yeah.
of like sculpting and just like how to get the details on. But um, especially because the amount of clay that I would have, like polymer clay or whatever, that I would have needed to like cover it up would have been just like mind-bogglingly heavy. But
Yeah.
I think in the last like couple of months, talking with the guys in the Discord, I think I have a good idea of how I want to approach the last bit and like just how
Good.
to like because it's also just like way too big for the normal game size base. So like I have an idea of like what I'm gonna do, and I think it's actually gonna ultimately look better, and hopefully by fingers crossed that the end of the year it's gonna be finished. But in terms of project, I kind of want to spend more time on time. I know Dwarfenage has been building some sweet terrain that he's been posting up on, and generally, I always want to like would love to build like big scenic terrain pieces.
Yeah, I
I just
agree.
never have space for it, and I know a couple of the guys I follow on Instagram just build so much like awesome game boards, and just like I'm so insanely jealous of that. But at the same time, like I'm never gonna build that because I don't have the space to store like a 6x4 gaming table
Exactly.
anywhere on.
I totally agree with that.
But yeah,
I've got
like
my own studio. I still don't have that space.
yeah, I would absolutely love the space and time to just have like an amazing, just scenic, like display piece, like gaming table.
Yeah, some
Yep.
cool hive city in a hive city with gene stealers and turrets and everything. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
that
I
would be
mean,
super cool.
I've had it in my head for that iconic Starship Troopers scene at like that fort that they like are
Oh
defending
yeah,
against it. Like
the outpost. Yeah, that'd be cool.
doing that up as like a 40K table would be fantastic. I would love it to death. Just like a mountain of Tyranid bodies that like you basically get to use as a ramp to like get over to walls and stuff like that.
Hey, listen, I tried to talk to Hive Delta about making some Tyranid corpses, but he's a busy guy.
I just feel like I have a lot of now soon to be very obsolete and outdated Termigan and Hormigan sitting in a box on the shelf nearby. So who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows what will
might
come
work.
up in the future?
Yeah.
Nice, cool. Thanks for sharing, man. DarthBob, what are you saying? What's your project that you've spent the most time on? And wait, but what was your one, Will? What was your one that you spent the most time on? Did you pick one?
It's I would guess the Lictor because this is the one that like I think was sort of a pandemic project that I sort of started. And like it's not done yet. It's just straight up not finished. So hopefully it'll be done soon.
Okay, cool. DarthBob, what's your one project that you spent the most time on, and what's the project that you would do if like your dream project, and they can't be the same project?
Okay. Well, if I had to pinpoint the one project that has been the longest ongoing project that I have, I would have
Well, I
to
didn't say
go.
that. It doesn't have to be the longest ongoing project you have. It just has to be the project that you spend the most time on.
I think they're one and the same, to be
Okay.
honest. So I'd have to go way back to 2010 at the last Games Day Baltimore,
Oof.
where coming off the back of scrolling through the Warp Shadow image galleries, I had seen our good friend Mr. Hydra's Tyranid Dominatrix, and I was like, I want one of those. And so when I went to the Games Day, they had a little Forge World stand, and I bought a Scythe Hierodule. And since then, I have on and off been working on that with a little bit of inclusion from Mr. Pink, who
I didn't realize that
of
was
course,
2010.
yeah, it was a long time ago,
It
man.
must have been the last Baltimore Games Day there was.
Yep, it was. It was where I remember because I met Dan Abnett and picked his brain about the Space Marine, the Ultramarine movie, because it was like announced at that Games Day.
Oh, I
I
And
don't
forgot
remember
was a
that ever
thing.
coming out. Did that come out?
yeah, it did. It
jeez.
was awful.
So I didn't miss much.
Great voice acting, but that was about it. But yeah, so I've been working on that Dom for 13 years at this point, on and off through
Jeez.
hobby hiatuses, and she's still not done, but uh she will be one day, trademark. And yeah, so I would say that's probably my longest ongoing project, or the hobby project that I spent the most time on, especially because like I've done a lot of like the major foundational sculpting on it, and then I decided I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah.
And then I like basically completely destroyed all the sculpting that I had done and started redoing it. I don't think I'm there now because I think the sculpting where she's at now, I don't need to go back to square one. I can keep building on what I have already done, and
Yeah.
and honestly, she's all the way upstairs, or I'd show her on stream. But where she's at right now, most of the base like structure is done. Like all the like extending of the body, the basic parts of the model are done right now. I just gotta like do all the like green stuff detailing and the extending the armor plates and all that. But so it's actually close to the tail end of the work that needs to be done. I'd say she's about 65 to 70% done.
Yep.
But that last 35 to 30% is just very intimidating because
So the key there
and
for me
honestly,
is you got to assemble it. You got to like
yeah,
assemble it as much as you can, because once you get it assembled, it being assembled like drives you.
I
Because you can
agree. And
see
actually
it's getting close.
like doing little stuff like this, like practicing my armor plating and stuff is
Yeah.
making me want to like get back into her because I feel like I'm learning more how to do really important aspects of Tyranid sculpting that are going to be essential for me. Because I want her to look good, right? I don't want her to
Yeah.
just be half-assed. I want her to be, you know, I want her to, I guess my dream is to evoke the same feelings that in somebody else that when I first saw you guys' dominatrix that I felt, you know?
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
as far as my dream project, that's tough. That's really tough.
So I
Maybe
said you
the
couldn't be the same one. I was worried you were going to be cheeky and be like, "Well, my dream project is finishing the Dom."
well, no, I would say that my dream project actually would and it is, I guess, somewhat achievable, but just being able to have a sizable, fully converted Tyranid army that I can have just blanket a floor and just take a picture of just like a giant swarm of fully painted, fully
Giant
converted.
swarm fully converted, like every termagant?
Yes. Yes, like
Oh
every
wow.
single model at least have, even if it's a minor thing like a repose, have some element of conversion on it.
That
That's,
is
I guess,
impressive.
my hobby dream.
That would be something. Oh man, I kind of want to
So
mix
yeah,
some putty now, but I said I was going to be done at 9:30. Pretty much running out. Damn it.
yeah, I wanted to get more done tonight, but I really needed my pin vise, and as soon as I sat
Oh
down to do this stuff,
no.
I don't have my pin vise.
Oh no.
I did
Um,
I did get rid of all the mold lines on the pieces though, so now I don't have
that's a
to worry
start.
about that. Yeah. And he's
Uh,
actually
Kajan?
almost done.
Cowboy just joined us and said, "Evening, fellas."
Arbide. Hey buddy. Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
And Rovenage asks Will to tell hello to Andrew.
Oh yeah. Say hi to Ironbeak for all of us.
Oh, yeah, we'll do. He's usually like really busy. I actually should be seeing him. One of the local shops is doing a swap meet next weekend. Not this
That's so
coming.
cool. I wish
but-
our shops did that.
I need to meet up with you, Will. You're like just a hop, skip, and a jump from
Uh,
where
it's
I
Yeah,
ac-
it's kind of
the
dumb, you
swap
guys. Come on.
the swap meets at Huzzah Hobbies over in Ashburn,
Oh,
which
okay, yeah. Ashburn's like literally, I think,
should be like a
35.
40-minute. Yeah.
Yeah, 35
It,
40-minute drive.
yeah, if you're there, if you go on the 23rd, that's when they're doing the swap meet. I'm gonna be there trying to
Well,
get rid
I
of
might have
stuff.
to do that. I might
All
just
right,
have to do that.
word.
Oh,
A
look, we're
little
making
wolf shit up
friends
here.
in real life.
That
Well,
was the real
eventually we need to have
converting.
like a creature conference proper, like a creature conference.
Conference.
Yes, like a little like rent out a hotel and do a little creature conference.
Well, there was talk of doing one in Germany, but love this piece. Hate that it always does this to me. Sorry, one sec. There was talk of doing one in Germany. That Marco's got some fancy office we could possibly use, but we got to see if that's still possible.
I have yet to visit Alemán, so
Just call it
What
Allemande?
proportion?
Alemán.
Are you French?
No, but just
What proportion of our community is North America versus Europe?
I
Is
think
it
Very good
big?
question.
overwhelmingly European.
I think it's a lot of Europeans.
Alas,
Like not
gonna have
entirely,
to.
but I think it's a lot.
Yeah, gonna have to be saving up for a plane ticket.
Yep.
Oh, they're not that expensive.
What's that?
They're not that expensive.
Plane
Yeah, right
tickets?
now they're actually not too bad
Really? I thought they
Yeah,
were getting real bad now.
comparatively. Like since
No,
COVID, like they've gotten a lot cheaper than they used to be.
even before COVID, the last time I flew, it was like $600 both ways. So
To
uh,
US?
no euro. Back then
yeah.
it was higher than dollar, so it should have been like
Overseas flights are pretty expensive.
I think the most expensive part be the hotel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to share my thing.
Yeah.
Put up.
Go for it.
Go.
Kajan, yes?
No, go.
Oh, I thought that there was like.
Otherwise, I would have started to read some of the replies from chat.
Well, why don't you do that?
Okay. We had Robin H who said, I think my longest ongoing project is probably my Undead. My goal is for all of them to be part of some cohesive whole, but have different sub-themes. And then Tom Wilson said, I have too many ongoing projects. I'm struggling to think of of the last thing I finished. Maybe Army on Parade boards, but I built most of them in a week or two.
Oh, wow. Well, you can still spend the most time like ever on a project in a week or two. You just have to like not sleep.
Who needs that? Who needs
So
sleep?
when it comes to
Sleep's
mine, I say that because I'm not really sure, because it's either the most recent dominatrix Tyranid Dom that I did for C Tarnor over on Instagram. Because that was done over the course of 2 years. Not like fully on. Like I took a break from the Dom to do Siege of X stuff, Siege of Petch stuff for a while with the client's blessing. And then yeah, that was like 2 years. But then I also think about my Gene Stealer cult that I did. The Coven of wait, no, what the heck were they called? The Omega Strain.
Omega
Yeah.
Strain.
Yeah, and they that was like I was unemployed at the time. So I was spending like when I wasn't like applying for jobs or doing like I wasn't unemployed. I was fun employed. I was doing some freelance work and stuff like that. So I had more time to work on them. And I spent a lot of time working them, and that's the only time that I've fully painted an army. So I think that it might be them.
Uh-huh.
That I spent more time in those few weeks total than I may have spent on the Dom in 2 years.
Yeah, it's
Well,
funny
they
that
both turned out great.
It's funny that Dwarfenage mentions designing an old fantasy range, because I think turn of Warhammer 8th edition, 9th edition, before like it just collapsed into Age of Sigmar. A friend of mine and I were trying to design sort of a different fantasy version as well. So
Oh, neat.
bring back the old world.
Common.
Those are those guys. And then for me, my dream projects, I am right there with
Is
you
it the Red
guys who said
Dragon?
that. What? I'm doing that. Dream project is something I'm not doing yet. My dream project, I think I've mentioned this possibly on stream before, but if I had money enough and time, I would just buy up like every Necron kit that is even remotely kind of scenery like the monolith, like the Silent King, like those whatever terrain pieces that they made for Necrons. Anything, everything, like 15 sets of the whatever that Kill Team release was where they released them with the Marines. I'd buy all that stuff and I would just take my time and I would just make a Tomb World. Like I would make an Armies on
Nice.
Parade board that is just Necron architecture and like Canoptech things walking around and then like sleeping Necrons.
Oh, that'd be really cool. You'd have to try and get a hold of the old out of production Forge World table bit things that they did a while back.
Pylons?
No, they did like whole I forget what they call them, like the Sector Imperialis.
Oh,
they're
like terrain, like
Yeah, they made them for Necrons. They're out of production now.
Well, I
They
don't
were
know. I
really
think that
cool.
might be cheating, the way I'm looking at it. But yeah, that's what I'd want to do. And what I'd want to do is I wouldn't make it like I'm not making a board. I'm making an armies on parade thing, and I want it to be very vertical. Like I don't want it to just be like low and flat. I want it to be like this kind of like obelisk structure that like extends up into the sky and might kind of be floating, and like there might be like canoptex like crawling around under it. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that would be
that'd be
so damn
super rad.
cool. I don't know why, but it just really speaks to me. Like, why Necrons? Shouldn't I be saying that I want to make like a whole like Tyranid board? But so yeah, either that or my backup option is my Eldar Wrathbone army. It's like Wraithbone that's been like it started getting infected by Slanesh, and then Unid basically saved everyone by taking it over, but it's like imbued with like the rage of Unid.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and like it would basically be I thought I talked about this before, maybe not. It would basically be Eldar mixed with Osiarchs mixed with Sylvaneth. Like all the like constructs, the Sylvaneth constructs.
Yeah, I think if we're talking non-Tyranid, I think an Eldar Exodite army would definitely be up there in terms of my dream projects.
It's another good one.
Crude.
Yeah, Kroot too.
Or sorry, I was gonna say, I don't know why I said Crude. I think I saw somebody say something about Crude. I still want my Zote army. Just
Wow.
Zote everywhere.
I would give you
Entire army
massive
of
points
Zotes.
for that. That would be impressive.
Millions of Zotes.
Just all.
Would you field them
Zotes
as
all the
Tyranids?
time.
Because like the best way to do a themed army like that, if you want to get recognized, is to go to a tournament with it. You don't have to win. You just have to have like win like most creative.
Yeah, no, pretty much. I had this like aspiration. The underlying concept that I had from my June Stealer project from last year that I clearly did not finish, and I maybe.
Dude, no one
tried to
finishes their
finish
June
it.
Stealer projects. I didn't finish mine.
I finished mine, but it took like 4 months.
Lucky boy.
Yeah. I had aspirations of doing a gigantic like Adepticon team tournament because that team tournament is like one of it to me like seems like one of the most fun kind of group projects that
Yeah,
you can
I'm still
do.
pissed I never did the Kroot for it. Because it did sound like a lot of fun.
I believe Ironbeak and his the Peck.
They did.
Peck?
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
I lost my chance.
They
I should have gone.
Yeah, I would love to do like a Gene Stealer cult thing. In part because I have this huge idea for a display board, you know, which kind of goes back to my like I want to build terrain stuff.
Nice, yeah.
But I keep having ideas for it just because it's just like it's fun. But if I ever did decided to like, still I guess kind of trying to periodically when I have excess putty that I've over mixed, try to like emulate the Blackstone Fortress Zote model a bit, just to challenge myself with more involved sculpting, and because I want more Zotes because always have more Zotes. But I think I would do like a counts as Tyranid army and just like run them all as like Tyranid warriors or something like that.
Yeah. Also, if there's anyone out there who's listening to this and is like, hey, I'd love that Necron board, and you have a lot of money, I'd accept commissions.
An investor.
Happened once before. That's how I got to do my first homunculus coven. I was like, I have this really cool idea for an army, but I don't have any money. And someone's like, I'll give you money to make that army. I'm like, sweet.
Nice.
The lightning only strikes once, my friends.
So, Tom also told us what his project is. And he said would be a fantasy wood elf army, but Games Workshop decided to discontinue the elves from the Sylvaneth range.
I might be coming back.
This sparked a short discussion about them basically being still under cities of Sigma in the
Wood elves?
new. Apparently, I'm not sure.
Well, there's that Kuranath Hunter or whatever dude. Well, no, wait, is that the right word for it? The lady who was in Curse City. She might be a forerunner for what wood elves would look like with her like antlers. The
Yeah, because
archer.
I know the guys that ride the deer or whatever they are, like the elk. I know
Yeah.
they're still around because I bought one of those kits to get the antlers for another kit for another conversion.
Cool.
And Robin H was Dream Project was read by Will earlier. He said he wants to design his own fantasy range. The skills will be there someday.
Nice.
And I'm looking forward to it. And Carbide also chimed in.
Nice.
First, he asked what he would count as in terms of Europe, because he's an Englishman living in Texas. So he isn't quite sure if he counts as European or.
Well, we have an easy test for that. When you wake up in the morning, do you drink coffee or do you drink tea? If you drink tea, you're still an Englishman. If you drink coffee, you're an American.
Well, while we wait for the answer on that one, he also told us, my longest hobby project so far is my current ongoing orc bust. Started in November 22nd, but there's been a lot of pauses in between. Dwarven Age said that's pretty fair for a bust. They are a labor of love.
Yeah, I've not gotten into busts yet. I feel like maybe I should get that Hormigaunt bust that Ryan's minis did. Try it out. Sorry, go ahead, Kajan.
Yeah. Carbide also said his current hobby dream is to make a credible 28mm D&D characters using melee green.
Nice. I mean, I can tell you because none of them are going to watch this stream, but I have a dream of making some Warhammer miniatures for my D&D group, one of which is Nora. So I might need to pick people's brains for the best miniatures for stuff for D&D characters soon.
What
Reaper has a very good range of cheap.
I kind of want to do it with like plastic 40k or plastic fantasy / stuff because I'm a tool.
Yeah.
Michelle,
we can totally talk about this next time. I mean, we already have a teaser for next week, the week after, for the work in progress stream, when we go to discuss which Warhammer model would fit which class in the D&D game.
Oh, I like it.
That'd be fun.
Gotta make sure I don't promote it too much. I don't want Nora to catch wind.
And while we are at it, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification.
Thank you, Kajan.
And next week we are going to be joined by, well, Mr. Pink is going to be joined by Hydra and Highfleet Moloch and Flip Hammer for the Creature Conference, the Big Brother stream to the Work in Progress stream.
Well, it's also the case that next week we're supposed to finally get to the bottom of November.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yes,
yeah.
So I will also be there for prize.
You better be.
Distribution.
You better be. Don't be going and getting a job before then and being like, sorry guys, I got to jet off to Phoenix.
I assure you, this next job is not going to be one that involves travel. Because with all due respect to people who do travel for work, fuck that.
Those guys are crazy. I'm gonna put this.
Also, sorry, not sorry, but everyone can live a long, happy life, never traveling to Phoenix or Scottsdale.
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
I completely agree. Having been there for the better part of 3 months, I agree. It's not worth a visit. Just go to
It's not.
Vegas. You get the
That's-
desert stuff, but you also have actual stuff to do.
So it's not living up to the hype.
No, I don't know who was hyping up
Wait,
who was
there
hyping
is
up Phoenix in the
there
first
is
place.
decidedly no Phoenix hype. I am sorry.
Glad you guys are telling me this. I did not know this about Phoenix. I don't know much about most places in the States that aren't like New York.
I'm like going on a road trip later this year, and my girlfriend wants to stop in Phoenix, and I'm like, no.
Oh, dang. Why? Do you have family or friends or something?
No, she's just never been. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You can go
You're
your
good.
entire life never visiting Phoenix, and you will be perfectly fine.
I believe the cartoon series King of the Hill had a joke about Phoenix, and it's like, this is a testament to man's hubris.
That Phoenix, Arizona is a testament to man's hubris?
Yeah, it is not a place that any living thing should exist.
Oh, God. You guys are making this sound really bad.
Well, well, beyond just the fact that there's really not much there if you're a tourist, it is also hot. It is hotter than Satan's asshole. It
Oh, it
is
is.
How
Okay.
how far away is it from Death Valley?
Not
4 hours.
yeah.
Okay.
Vegas is
Just-
closer to Death Valley.
Distances are just kind of weird in the States because everything is just like so much bigger. Like the country overall is just so much bigger than like most European countries. So like you kind of have to think of everything in like continental scales. So
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I told a friend of mine who was living in the US how long it would take me from where I'm living to go up to Berlin, and he was like, "What? It's like the next town over," and I'm like, "No, it's like another
Like, why don't
end
you go
of
there
the
every
country."
weekend?
I gotta love that American versus European cultural sense of perspective
Ahem,
differences.
North American friends.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have like Saskatchewan and like Manitoba to like where.
If I want to drive to Ottawa, it's a 5-hour drive. That's not actually that bad. Like, we don't think of that as very far. It's like, it's
I
fun.
can
Well,
drive
part
5
of
hours
Ottawa
and
is-
still be in Maryland.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's like on the other side of the planet.
Like
Hey,
5
dudes, I think
hours
we
is
got to
nothing.
wrap this up. It's getting
All
late.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a cool combat warrior, mostly kind of built. I was trying to like, I wanted to explain how I did his feet, but we were chatting. So I made sure to show all the bits that I cut off for his feet. So if you rewind,
Looks
you can
dope.
see where they all came from. This foot's going to be resting on a dead space marine. I just have to find a dead space marine.
What chapter when you paint them? Since you've been on a painting bench recently, do you know which?
Not sure if I'm going to paint this
chapter
one.
you're
We'll
gonna
see.
Well, obviously it has to be a Death Watch.
Yeah, I got to watch him die.
No,
Watch.
just to since Half-Life Moloch is Marco is playing Death Watch.
That's a good
That
point.
would be a nice tie-in to use his Death Watch, since you have also converted a bunch of stuff for him to put on his Titan.
So like low key taunt him by
Yeah.
killing his death watch.
I concur with this. I think this is a good idea. Create the Creature Conference cinematic universe of miniatures. It's all
Nice.
connected.
All right. I am much later than I should be, so thank you all for joining. Both Kajan, DarthBob, and TacticalDbag. Will, thank you to everyone in the chat for joining, certainly. And we will talk again soon. We'll have a work in progress Wednesday in 2 weeks' time. But as Kajan said, next Friday we will be doing the Creature Conference, and on the Creature Conference we will be reviewing the winners for Nidvember. I'm glad we've been able to nail down that date, and I look forward to it because DarthBob has got some nice prizes for folks. So we'll make sure to tune in next Friday at 4:45 Eastern Daylight Time, 8:45. Wait, no, wait, 9:45 in the evening Greenwich Mean Time, and 10:45 in the evening German time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
We'll talk to you soon.
Have a nice-
Should zoom this out. Bye.
Bye.